I restart every video with a pun. So I don't really have one this time though. So I'm just gonna say Jello because trying to come up with a pun was a real shot in the dark. Okay, even I can admit that was bad. Welcome everyone to the Hungry Heathen. We're gonna make some Jello shots this week from our Forgotten Home Apothecary book. These are non-alcoholic. They are meant to boost your immune system and all of that stuff. I have substituted a few things that it's going to require. I don't have a way to get carrot juice. Also, it sounds terrible. So we're going to use raw, unfiltered apple juice. I also don't have Agar Agar flakes like it asks for, so we're going to use pectin. Now, full stop. I've tried to make these twice before, and they both times have been just absolute failures. The first time I tried to make them using Jello, which had an idiot who looks an awful lot like me bother to stir it up, probably would have worked, but I didn't. And last time I tried to meter out the pectin in like a conversion to how much pectin versus agar agar flakes. That also didn't work. They didn't even get any sort of gelatin consistency. They were just shots. So we're going to get everything set up and we're going to get to making these. As you can see, we're trying some different stuff as far as the angles go. Also, if you're a big caffeine addict like I am, highly recommend trying this. It tastes exactly like the flavor suggests, which is sherbet, whatever. Anyway, so you're going to need pectin. You're going to need echinacea tea. I've got the throat coat because it's easier, and I don't feel like trying to go out and buy just echinacea. We've got our unfiltered apple juice, and you're going to need raw honey. Also going to need a bowl to put this in. Anyway. Okay. So we're going to need boiling water for this. I already got water in the kettle, so we're going to flip that on. We're going to let that get nice and warm. Now I've got the page marked because I don't want to sit here and dig through it. Okay. Alrighty. So the instructions on this are going to be to prepare the agar agar flakes and the tea. So we're going to need a small saucepan, which I didn't grab. Forgot the fucking saucepan. Ah, there it is. Okay. Small saucepan. Medium saucepan, whatever. Who gives a shit? Put that over there for now. Okay. So we're going to let this boil because we're going to use this to make our tea. Now, this calls for a half a cup of tea. I'm going to use a whole cup. That's not a whole cup. That's 2/3 of a cup. You know what? We'll use a half a cup one. I'm sure this comes as no surprise to anyone how absolutely prepared we are for this. So we're going to let this boil. Then we're going to make our tea. So we'll be right back. Okay, so because we're going to do this all in the bowl because it's significantly easier that way. Take out your tea bag. Not that one. Put that away. Like I said, I'm doing it this way because it's a lot easier. So you hear that going off. So we're done there. Now we're going to use a cup of this to make our tea. And like I said, it calls for half a cup. I'm going to use the whole thing. Because it's significantly easier that way. Also, I like tea. Let that soak. Let that do its thing. We're going to let it steep and become tea. Saucepan. Pretty sure I got too big of a saucepan, but I don't know where the small one is. Doesn't matter. Anyway. Let me take a look. Maybe I've got a small one. Maybe I don't. And you know what? I don't see a small one in here. It's fine. Everything's fine. Whatever. Small enough. Anyway, let the steep do its thing. Take our pectin. Like I said last time, I tried to meter this out. It's like a quarter to a half a teaspoon of pectin to replace the Agar Agar flakes. And it didn't work. So this time, I'm dumping the whole fucking thing in there. You know, looking at the page next to this one, next to this one, it's a pineal tincture that requires Everclear. Oh boy. Okay, so we have our cup of tea. Like I said, this calls for half a cup. I use the whole cup. Why? Because I can. Actually, probably add just a little bit more to this. I'm gonna go with a cup and a half. Because there's a lot of pectin there, and I didn't realize that a whole thing of pectin was that much. Why I made so much boiling water. Steep our tea. We're going to add this in with the pectin. We're going to let that sit and soak for a minute. I had a wooden spoon here somewhere. Whatever. This works, I guess. Wildly unprepared. Nothing out of the ordinary. Anyway. I'm going to give that a spin. Put all of that in there. Okie dokie. So we're going to heat this over medium heat. So right about there. And we're going to let this go for about 5 minutes. So this is important that we do this until all of the powder or flakes, if you choose to use the agar agar, whatever, is dissolved. So be right back. So you're going to want to stir that continuously until the mixture is thick with 2 C's. Because when you put it in the fridge, it's going to add another C to it. So you want it to be thick now and dummy thick later. Yeah, I don't know why I talk either, but here we are. Okay, so once everything dissolves, about 5 minutes, you're going to want to add in your apple juice, carrot juice, apple and carrot juice, whatever you decided to use. I don't have the patience to make carrot juice. I literally bought unfiltered apple juice because I'm lazy. So 1 cup of this. Also, if you've never had this apple juice, it's a little pricey, but I definitely recommend it because it's wonderful. Like, I genuinely enjoy it. I think it's delicious. I'm gonna break out the fine china, and I'm going to pour myself a glass actually while we wait for all of that to just kind of mix itself together. So, what you're going to want to do delightful. Is you're going to want to get the thing you just threw in the sink because you're an idiot. You want to just stir this up, just give her a little spin quick. And this should already be starting to thicken up. Like I said, you're looking for 2 C's right now, 3 C's after it cools. You want to go from thick to dummy thick for you kids out there. So now we're going to add in our honey. Or you can add maple syrup. It's up to you. This is really just to sweeten it up. But I will say this much. Raw honey has a ton of health benefits to it. Such as it's good for coughs. It's good for your throat. It's full of antioxidants to help keep you healthy. You can put as much as honey in this as you want. I really, really, really like honey, like to the point where you should call me Winnie the friggin' Pooh. So honestly, it's one of my favorite things to put, like, to eat is honey. So you're gonna want to stir this, get everything in there. Do not add the honey to this until you've taken it off the heat and put the juice in. You don't want it boiling because if you do, you're going to break down all the enzymes. You're going to break down all the enzymes in the honey, and that kind of really just defeats the whole purpose of putting the honey in there in the first place. So once you give that a little spin, when you are all done with that, clean up your fucking mess. And you're going to want to get some sort of container to put it in. So, I don't remember why we bought these, but they're a great thing for this. So, you're going to basically meter this out into these, and then you're going to put them in the fridge for 1 hour to 2 hours. They should thicken up. This is the 3rd time I've made this recipe. Hopefully I did it correct this time, because the first 2 times were an absolute disaster and nothing worked correctly. It all mixed together right. It just didn't turn into Jello. So we're going to meter it into these. We're going to put them in the fridge, and then we're going to check on them in about 1.5 hours. So we'll be right back. I know I said we'd be back after these set up, but I want you to see the consistency we're working with right now. So it's already kind of thickening up. That's what we're trying to do here. That's what we want. See, the last time I made this, that didn't happen. Also, this smells really good. It smells like it's good for you, honestly. If that's a thing. So we're gonna pour it into these, and we're gonna put them in the fridge, and then we're gonna check on them and see how they do. This is probably the first official cooking video since we've made our return. And it feels good to be back, honestly. I'm actually probably going to record one more video after I'm done here, and it's going to be another story time, and all that fun stuff. So stick around. Like I said, hopefully, last video, hopefully everything stays going good. So far it is. So we're gonna finish metering this out into these, put them in the fridge for about an hour, which is about as long as it should take me to do my next video. So we'll check on them again shortly.
2 hours later.
So, quick little update here. They in fact did not turn into Jello shots. I really don't know why. I just know that they didn't. My other half says it might very well be because of the apple juice. Who knows? Or it might just be that I didn't use Agar Agar flakes and I just used pectin. Whatever. If we make it again, we'll try it with the Agar Agar flakes. I just didn't really have the time to get any. 4th time's a charm. Whatever. Catch you guys next time.